Hey, I believe this is live. And yes, this should be live. And we are going to start in a couple of minutes. I hope everybody can. Yes, I think this is live. Yeah, yep, I think this is live. Yep. Okay. So, a very warm welcome to all of you. Sorry, I'm just trying to check on my other side as well. So, yes, a very warm welcome to all of you for joining this particular live event. And this is Double Your Profits in 12 months without increasing costs. It seems there's a lot of interest in this particular topic which I've brought up. I did a webinar on this as well, and I got a lot of inquiries and I got a lot of insights as well. And in fact, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm most likely going off to Morocco because they are interested in this particular topic as well. So it seems to be something that very many companies, very many leaders are looking forward to. So this is something which I'm passionate about, and I want to help you. I want to give those right, I want to give you the tools. I want to give you the strategies as well, so that you can succeed. And the aim is to double your profits. Double your profits in 12 months without increasing costs. That is the whole aim, and I'll give you the right tools and strategies to help you to move through this particular whole outline of what you really need to do in your particular business. And what I want to do is, first and foremost, I just want to start by just sharing some of the challenges which I have come across, and these are internal and external, and these are quite common in very many businesses. I mean, some of these include operational inefficiencies, um, insufficient skills, and right fit. Now, that's a very big one, and we know that talent is key in your particular business. But I'll be giving you more insights on what you really need to do. Poor financial management as well. And in one particular company, it was a manufacturing company, and the head of finance kept on giving the same sort of reports, but there was nothing which was evolving. The dashboards were not evolving, the activities were not dynamic, and it was very static, as I would put it. So it was historical as well. So those were some of the core elements. Weak leadership, I think this plays a very big role. There are very many CEOs out there, there are very many companies out there. They try sort of connecting all the dots, but it's difficult for them. There's one CEO who came up to me and said, Vijay, I threw a fantastic Christmas party, and there was lots going on, and I brought all the team members and everybody. But what happened is the performance is still not the way it's supposed to be. He's saying the team is still not high performing as he would have wished to see. And the key reason is their key components: empathy, emotional intelligence, having that deep connectivity, and authenticity as well. Although I'm not going to dwell into leadership in this particular whole session and training, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea. Resilience is important, proactiveness is important. But I'll share some more thoughts as we move forward. Another one is lack of accountability as well. So that's another problem: role duplicity, having too much to do, and trying to do two three people's job and all that, and having two bosses as well in some instances. So that's another problem. Decision making, doubts in decision making, and ineffective decision making, which causes problems. Receivable. Now, there are companies who have receivables and they can't collect, so they're reflecting it in their revenues, but they've not collected. What does that really mean? That means they end up paying more tax at the end of the day. So those are some of the concerns out there. Another one is complexity. Having a lot of complexity, and firefighting, micromanaging. Excuse me. I'm just recovering from a flu, so please bear with me. And time leakages as well, my friend. So these are some of the challenges, internal challenges, and some of the external challenges out there that we know is rising cost, economic uncertainty, um, there's technology disruption, there's competitive pressure, as well as changing customer behaviors. Now, those are the external challenges and the internal, which I've mentioned. And those challenges really are concerning for businesses to grow. And I understand this is the reason, with the rising cost and with the competitive landscape that we have entered, it becomes quite difficult. But at the same time, that also gives us this big opportunity. So, what is this big opportunity which I'm talking about? Now, think about digital transformation. That has changed the game completely. Digital transformation has changed the game completely. Emerging markets is another one. The other one is sustainability, sustainable initiatives. And we know the new generation, they're looking for those sustainable initiatives to, which is appealing to the general public out there as well. So, sustainable, sustainable uh, initiatives, strategies. These are these strategic partnerships. By the way, co-creation. I want to bring this one up. Co-creation, disruptive thinking between teams as well. So that is another key component. And finally, generative AI itself. These are core elements which can help businesses to scale up. And I'll show you exactly with specifics as to how you can really do this moving forward. Now, I just want to show you this 221. Can anybody tell me what this is? What do you think this is? When I write 221, anybody who can tell me what this is? 221. Basically, 221 is the number of days that we are left with. So it's the number of days that we are left with in 2024 working days. And that comes to about 1,768 hours when we work it out. But this is just giving you an indication that, look, time flies. We are already on the 15th of February. And, chances are that next time when I speak to you, time's not going to come back. So this is key and important, that we need to work with an urgency mindset. So the first thing, now we are going into the tactics and strategies, and this is how you're going to double your profits without increasing your cost in 2024. Here's what I want you to do. The first and foremost is have a clear blueprint. So what do I mean by a clear blueprint? Say you and I are discussing and celebrating the milestones you have achieved in 2025, February 2025. We're having that conversation, and there are 7 milestones that you have come up with: revenue, additional assets, additional team members, your profits, your new profits that you see. What are those milestones? What are those milestones we would be celebrating a year from now? Just one single page. Doesn't matter even if you have 5,000 employees, make it into one single page. You can have drill down information, that's a different thing altogether. But a single page with clarity, complete clarity, my dear friends. Clarity is where the power is, clarity is where the impact is. So you need to make sure that you are clear completely about that particular blueprint. This in itself is going to give you 10%, and I'll tell you how. What you need to do is have collective intentions in place. So when you have that blueprint, make sure you have those collective intentions. What do I mean by collective intentions? Let me give you an example. So there was this one particular company, FMCG, which came up to me and said that, Vijay, I was at the company, the CEO, who was the major shareholder. He told me, Vijay, we are up here. We want to go from here to here. How do we go from here to here? And it was a family business. And I told him, all right, can you call your members, your team, the executive team? who were the directors. So they managed to call all of them. He managed to call all the, there were about five of them. And I just gave them a piece of paper and I gave them a pen and I said that here's what you do. Write the vision of the company, the purpose of the company, the values of this particular company. But most important, when we are talking about going from here to here, timelines, additional number of assets, additional number of people, additional number of branches, profits, revenues, costs, everything. Just write it down. Just a few salient core elements. And you must have guessed it, they got it all wrong. Now, this is a company where you need to have that alignment, and they didn't have that particular alignment. The whole impact you're going to get is when you have those collective intentions in place, because all the decisions that you're going to make will be reflecting on what is happening, and you have to revisit this blueprint, making sure it's like a mantra that you go through every 4 weeks in your particular company. So why do I say every 4 weeks? Because the world has become so dynamic, the competitive landscape is changing rapidly. So you need to make those changes, but make sure your blueprint is completely clear. That's the first step. If you have this blueprint in place, the rest of the steps become easier. And this itself is going to help you to gain that 5, 10, 15, 20%, depending on the size and complexity of your particular organization. But here's where you're going to get 20 to 25% of efficiency, I believe. And it depends on different companies and depends on sort of what sector you are and everything. But the aim here is to get anything between 20 to 25% efficiency, which means you'll be having better earnings. Your profit should increase. So what you need to do is have some audits done, and these are appraisals, as I call it. Some call it assessments, whatever you want to call it, but it's audits. And what you need to do is have a culture audit done. And I'll give you a specific example of how to do it so you get an idea. Have a culture audit, have a cost audit, have a staff audit, and that's what I want to share with you. Have a client audit, assets audit, leadership audit, systems audit, marketing audit, suppliers audit, as well as revenue audit, but depending on whatever departments that you have. So what do I really mean? Let's go into staff, because staff are your highest leverage. So I want to give you the specifics. Use this acronym. It's called SLINTS. 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 So what you need to do is SLINTS. S stands for those team members who showcase that they are the best around. And what I really mean is, and I've seen this, that in interviews, they really portray that, the best of the best, they are just unshakable. So they are the best. But when it comes to performance, the performance is not up to the standard required. The L stands for likability and those who are loyal. And you might have come across those who are loyal team members who would do those extra things for the leader, and they might even do some personal chores as well and help here and there. And they're the likable type. But when it comes to performance, it's not like the performance is uh, up to 100%. So that's another one. I stands for influence. Now, these are the guys, or these are the team members who, in meetings, what do? They take over the meetings. They are very vocal, and they think they know everything, and they sort of just tap in and step everybody over, and they just take over that particular meeting. But when it really comes to performance, they're still not up to that particular level. The N stands for normal. And these are those 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 who just work from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock, 9 to 5, but they don't have that innovative mindset, or they're not curious, or they don't really, challenge the status quo or ask questions. So they just come in, do their job, and they're out. Those are the normal. The T stands for talent. Now, these are the ones who are talented. They have the talent and they have the capability, they've got the competencies, they've got the skill sets, and they've got the know-how to really help you scale up. But the problem is they're reactive, they're emotional, they're not proactive, and they're quite sensitive, as you see. This is what I mean. And what happens is, because of that, what happens is that there is a little bit of a gap between them and the final level, which is the star talent. And this could be your 1 or 2%, or it could be more for your particular company. But these are the ones that you ideally want your whole team to be. So, what you need to do is identify the gaps, identify where the gaps are, and find out. And I'm here to tell you that you might need to even fire some of your team members. Because if you really want to see that growth taking place, you need to give the coaching, you need to give mentoring, you need to advise them, you to give them the training, you to hold them accountable. I understand everything, but despite all that, if you don't see that performance the way it's supposed to be, they may not be the right fit for your particular outfit. And what do you really need to do? You need to, let them go. And so you need to make that tough decision. And so, what I've shared with you is how you are going to be able to appraise, and you will be able to appraise and do this appraisal. Now, what have I done? I've given you for staff. Do the same for leadership, do the same for suppliers, do the same for assets, do the same for market research. For marketing. Do the same for your finance. Do it for all those departments in your particular company, and I can promise you, you will see that efficiency increase. You'll have 20 to 25% efficiency if you do it now. Again, your size and complexity of your business is important. But March, April, May, by May, you would be seeing those turning points taking place, and the efficiency will come through. And I believe that you can easily have that efficiency even more than 25%. But let's be conservative and keep it at 25%. You got 10% first, you got 25%, that's almost 35% of efficiency. I hope you're getting value. I don't know, somehow or the other, I can't see the questions coming through. But if you have any questions, I'll respond to all those questions, even if I can't pick up on this particular live event. But I want to add as much value as we can. So once you've done the appraisals, what do you really need to do? It doesn't stop there. Let's move to the next stage. And what I want to do is, let's take a revenue growth, for example. So I've just picked up on a revenue growth, and I'll give you this as one of the key elements of you, so that you can experience how you can scale up your revenues. Now, I have this model, it's called the impact model. And impact stands for intention, mindset, people, accountability, cost leadership, and traction. So what you do is, let's take a revenue, for example. As far as revenue is concerned, decide what your revenue is going to be end of December 2024. Let's take it that as an example. So say your revenues right now are $1 million, and your revenues in 12 months time, you want it to grow, say, 70%. Uh, so what will happen is, you're going to put in as 1.7. So it will be $1.7 million, just as an example, or sterling pounds, or whatever currency you are in. So 1.7 million is what your target is going to be. Now, first and foremost is the intentions, making sure everybody is on the same page, reading the same line. So you need to make sure everybody is completely aligned to that particular intention, like I always say. And then comes the mindset. You need to have the growth mindset. There's been research done, Harvard's done research and all this, and we all know that the effectiveness, efficiency improves when you have a growth mindset. So your thought process, we all have about 60,000 thoughts on average daily, but your thought process is very important. Instead of having negative thoughts, you need to reframe and have those positive thoughts. You need to eliminate negative language and be positive. So you need to ask the right proactive questions as well. That, for example, you may not have achieved a certain target, say in the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, your target you have not achieved. Instead of saying that, why haven't we achieved this target, or what's happening, or you need to ask that, what are the specific steps we can take to achieve our target or exceed our target. You need to be more specific. Now, again, I'm just giving you this example from my head, but you need to really find out exactly what the situation is and step up the game by asking specific questions, my dear friends. And when you open that up, that will open a different level of perception. It will give you more thinking, and you'll be able to see certain turning points. So start with that. Mindset is very important. P stands for people. Make sure my dear friends, you have the right fit, the right people who know exactly what products and services you are selling, who know exactly what they are talking about, who have the confidence to pitch properly, and who believe in your products and services as well. So you need to make sure you got the right people, the right fit. And like I mentioned from the slints, the previous when I spoke to you about the slints acronym, you need to make sure that they are the star talent in your company. The A stands for accountability. So you need to make sure you get constructive feedback. You need to make sure that they own up for the actions or inactions. So they have to own up for the results. And they can't just say, one thing I noticed, and in one company I saw that one of the team members was just giving excuses that, oh, there was a lot of traffic, or this was happening, or that was happening, and I couldn't reach clients and all. That's not how you want it. You want it framed in a different way, because if you hold somebody accountable, they have to come up with a solution as well. That, look, this is what happened, but I came up with a better idea. This is how it has improved. That is the accountability piece, where everybody owns up, and they take matters in their hand. So this is a key component. The C stands for cost leadership. Find out what elements you can use when it comes to revenue growth in your business, what you can use to have that digital transformation. Is there anything, can you can you be more efficient than what you are at this particular point in time? Take Tesla, for example. Tesla's got a very lean, efficient pipeline of operations, as we all know, and this is the reason they are making some margin from their electric cars. What is it that you can do in your company where you can have that cost efficiency? So you need to really, when you do the appraisal, you need to even come up with ideas, insights, and you need to come up with tools, strategies, resources that is going to help you to add to that particular efficiency element. And finally, T. Now, this is where the variable comes in. This is traction. So let's go. I'm now deep diving into the traction bit, so you get more insights. And we are still in the revenue growth model. So what you need to do when it comes to revenue growth under traction, use the 80-20 principle, or 10% of your clients who are ideally what you want. In many companies I've seen that it's the 10 or 20% of the clients they would ideally or love to work with. So who are those 10 to 20% of your clients that you want to work, you want to work, and you need to duplicate or replicate all that. So make sure that you have that in your plan. What's going to happen is your efficiency will improve. You will have less administration cost, because when you have clients whom you are trying to just collect money and all, that's going to drain a lot of energy. It's going to drain a lot of resources. So look for those ideal clients. And you, of course, for doing that, what do you really need to do? You need to conduct a market research. But here's the thing: when you've done your research, you'll be having the potential clients who you would like to work with. And what you need to do is, you need to now sort of capitalize on that and focus on that with your team members to see how you can grab more of the market share. So that's what you really need to do. It's an art, and your team members need to have the right influential skills. They need to believe in the products and services. They need to be good. They must be confident, and they must be communicating clearly. So it's very important they have the learning and development to make sure that they uh, help you grow your business. You also need the second level insights. What do I mean by second level insights? The game has changed. It's not about just selling. What you need to do is you need to add value. So what are the solutions you can provide that is going to help the clients customers as well? So find out what are the other pain points of your clients customers or clients. So you need to make sure that you give them solutions based which is going to add more value for them, and that is going to help you to differentiate yourself. So you need to do a bit of research, but it's going to really help you to sell accordingly. So it doesn't matter whatever company you are, but you can use some of these key components. Now, identify patterns of red flags. What do I really mean by this? And what happened is there was one particular manufacturing company. They had a range of products, but some of the range of products were just not moving. There wasn't that interest. Yet there was stock, and the sales were slow. So what are those red flags, or what are those uh, elements, or products or services which you need to tweak so that you can leverage the products and services and align it to ensure that you got the right client and customer appeal. So that is very important, and you need to have that connectivity. As we say, you have to connect the dots. So identify patterns of red flags from your products and services. And by the way, you also need to sort of expand your services or products, or look into other verticals which you can provide. For example, if you are just into manufacturing, see if you can come up with a subscription based or a service of or maintenance or whatever it is. What are the verticals, or what are the services can you bring in that is going to add more value, but it's also going to generate more revenues? So you need to look into that particular element. Now this is very important. 3 USPs. In the past, everybody used to say, oh, what is your USP? What is that unique selling proposition that you have? But here's the thing, it has changed. You need three, you need a combination of three. One, you'll have your competitors having almost the same. Two, again, some of your competitors might have. But when it comes to 3 USPs, that makes you stand apart. So, what really makes you stand apart? Brainstorm with your team and find out exactly what your 3 USPs are. And you have to revisit these every 3 months, because everything's changing and it's evolving. So, what is it that you are going to showcase that is going to show that you have that unique selling proposition? It's extremely important. Like what I do is I just say that I'm not a leadership coach. I mean, that was in the past, but now I'm a company accountability partner, or a leadership accountability partner. An accountability partner includes coaching, mentoring, training, holding people accountable, advising, but at the same time helping them shift behaviors. So how moved? It's like how evolved. So you need to find out exactly what are 3 differentiators that's going to help you move to another level altogether. And I can promise you, if you have this in place, you will see the impact it's going to make in your particular business. I need to move on because I'm conscious about the time as well. The other point is AI. Now, we know that digitization, with all that is coming out, and generative AI, you can now tap into social media. And what you really need to do is leverage all the social media platforms. I normally propose companies to use 2 platforms, but again, it depends on what sort of business you have, and you might be having you can use more platforms. But there's so much opportunity out there right now, my dear friends. I'm doing this live, and I'm concurrently live on LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter and all these other places. The point here is that right now you got that opportunity to grow, you got the opportunity to scale up, you got the opportunity to make an impact, you got the opportunity to have that brand positioning as well. So make use of that, capitalize on that networking, find out exactly what sort of networking groups you can join as well. This could be in your territory as well, and referrals as well. There's a whole system when we really look at it, and my head drops because I see many companies, they've got they've got a database, they've got they've got a complete database, but they don't do email campaigning, for example, or they don't send newsletters, or they don't update their clients or potential clients of what is new and what is going on. Simple stuff, but it can really help your company to scale up and grow. So that is another key point. And your sales team, when it comes to selling, 7 touch points. First of all, trying to warm up and get a new client takes time, but once somebody shows interest, when they say no, you need to have those 7 follow-ups. Do you have those 7 follow-ups? And I'm just giving you this as a rule of thumb, that it should be over 5, and you need to consistently have that follow-up. I was seen in many instances, uh, I've called in for a service, but I never have the follow up coming in. And that in itself just loses the whole game. So you need to have those 7 touch points, as I put it. The other point that I want to raise here when it comes to revenue growth is negotiate with your suppliers. You need to negotiate with your suppliers, find out exactly how best you can uh, work with the strategic initiatives with your suppliers. And in some instances you need to even see if you can join hands and buy some shares in the company if you can get that. But see, work closely with your suppliers and make sure that you achieve that highest optimum element of supply, and it's cost effective at the end of the day. And finally, of course, customer experience. You need to make sure that you have this customer experience. I went to the mall to buy a high ticket item, and when I entered, the sales this team member, she was completely disconnected with me. I mean, she was just very passive, not asking me questions, not inquisitive, not even exhibiting or showcasing the item I wanted to buy properly as well. And I was completely put off, and I went to another shop. My point here is customer service is very important. It's moved from satisfaction to fulfillment to enrichment. So you need to enrich, have that enriched customer, the customer experience altogether. So now I hope you've seen what the potential of this particular whole model. And here's the thing, this particular just revenues, you can easily scale up your revenues. Like I said, 70% in this particular just hypothetical example I came up with. But if you have $1 million working on $1.7 million, I've given you the strategies, I've given you the tools, I've told you what you really need to do, and I've given you the insights on how you go about doing it. Now, imagine if you use the same strategy, the same mechanism, except for the traction will change, the T, which where variables will change. Assuming you have that and you do this impact, this whole impact model, and use it for the rest of the appraisals, which include for your culture, for the cost, for your clients, for your assets, for leadership as well, for your suppliers, for your systems, for your marketing. Imagine what it really can do to the whole organization. I personally believe rather than doubling your profits, you should be looking at tripling your profits. If you really put in a lot of attention, if you really look into it more focused, and if you have that high performing team, then it can really make a profound impact to the growth of your business. I hope you see this. I'm sorry I can't see my questions or messages coming through. So I'm sorry, but just leave your questions with me, and I will get back to you on these particular questions. In fact, I'll do a video on those particular questions just to answer those particular these whatever questions you have. Now, I just want to share with you the next steps, and the next steps is that I will be sharing a link. I'll be sharing a link. I don't know how to share this particular link, but what I'll do is I'll share a link for you to book a call with me. Hang on, I've got. Oh, okay. I've got some comments here. My apologies. Okay, so Ritesh Kumar, hi, how are you? Sorry. Excellent and very informative session. Thank you, Ritesh. Godfrey says managing people tactfully. LinkedIn Private says very nice talk and informative. My accountability partner, Rebecca Jenkins, who's always supportive. Complete alignment fuels productivity and growth. Thanks, Vijay. So I'm really pleased, and thank you very much. I'm touched as well with all that you've given me. So I really appreciate your comments. Please let your questions and comments come through. And what I'm doing is I will be sharing. I think I have shared something where you can book a session with me, a free session that is going to help you to tailor make some sort of insights, and you can ask me the most challenging question, doesn't matter, and I'll be able to guide you and give you the insights that's going to help you to grow your particular business. So I hope you take advantage of this, and thank you so much for these comments. I'm so sorry I didn't see these comments. Uh, I had that facility of seeing any comments. If anybody has any questions, please do let me know. And Godfrey, you're right. Managing people tactfully, we have to manage people tactfully, but at the same time have that emotional intelligence, have the right energy levels, have the right vibrations as well, have the right frequency to make sure that we help move the needle overall. So, my dear friends, I hope you found value. I do apologize. I'm still recovering from some small sort of irritation within myself, but I do apologize for that, and I hope you found this useful. I hope you take some of these points and use it in your particular business. That's what my passion is, that's what my mission is, to see that you make an impact. And if you, like I said, please have this one-on-one session with me, and I'll be happy to help you. I look forward to seeing you in the next live stream. Thank you very much. Bye for now.